Scott Morgan here, Broncos Radio. Joining me tonight is Gabe VanSickle. Gabe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You betcha. Gabe, let's talk a little bit about, there's been some excitement in your career for football. Congratulations on signing with Northwestern University.
Yeah, thank you.
If you could, kind of give me the process, when did this all start? When you started looking at different colleges?
It all started last summer. It was in June, and I went to a Central camp, and that's when I got my first offer from Central. I had like a lineman camp, and then it all exploded from there.
It did. Okay, so Central gave you that offer. You came home and told your parents, and it was like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What'd you do? What was your thoughts at that point in time?
This is really happening. Something like that.
So throughout the year then, how many colleges approached you?
There were quite a bit. Almost all the MAC did, and then probably around 5 Big Ten schools, somewhere around there.
How much time, did that take? Were you gone a lot of weekends or during, to do all this stuff?
I was gone almost every weekend from at end of football season to now.
To now.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your thoughts? You're looking at you obviously you went and visited. I know Indiana,
mm-hmm.
and then you went to Purdue,
mm-hmm.
and then went to Northwestern. What was the difference between all three of those programs?
I'm not gonna. The facilities are about all the same. I'd say the coaches, like the way the coaches teach the players and how they react to players not doing what they're doing and stuff like that.
Okay. How'd you find out more about the coaches when just being there and talking
mm-hmm.
with them, interacting?
Well, at practice, they're going to say whatever because they're trying to run practice, so you can see their real self at practice.
At practice. Okay,
mm-hmm.
so you were going down there and you were seeing them at practices
yep.
and stuff. Okay, so you got a real good vibe there.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about, how did they find you? You went to Central for the summer camp, but then how did all these other schools find you?
I would say Twitter and Huddle were two of the big things. Like I tweet out my Huddle, and then I'd get views on it. That's all I really know about.
So Huddle was showing you. You're able to show you your plays, right?
Yep.
They don't see everything. You're kind of able to
yep.
scale it down.
Yep.
So the technology there has been kind of nice,
mm-hmm.
and then Twitter has allowed you to go directly to the different. Did you send them out to different schools, or you just posted it in different schools?
I did email a couple schools after my football season, but I emailed like 16 schools, probably something around there.
Okay. And start getting a lot of interest from the Macs once they
yep.
started that way. What would you tell somebody just starting maybe it's a freshman now, what would you tell them about hey, how to prepare for this process?
I would say just work as hard as you can because you need to be good at football, and just don't get caught up in the recruiting when you need to be better at the sport, not at recruiting. So something like that.
Okay. What was the most exciting part of this whole process that you found? Wow.
I thought my official visit at Northwestern was the most exciting part.
Really?
Yeah.
What made it so exciting?
Just the coaches, they just made me feel at home there. So and then I committed later that day of I was at my official visit.
After your official visit?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the most challenging of the recruiting process for you?
I would say the most challenging part was calling the coaches and saying you're not going to their school. That was big. That was really hard for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, how many offers did you... Well, you said all of them, most of the MAC?
I think I had 8 or 9.
8 or 9 offers.
Yep.
So 7 or 8 of those coaches, you had to say, no, sorry,
mm-hmm.
but, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yep.
Wow. Was there at any point in time, was it overwhelming?
I wouldn't say overwhelming, but it got a little stressful at times.
A little stressful.
Yeah.
How'd you handle that?
I just talked over pros and cons with my parents. That was a big thing that me and my parents did.
Okay, so it was definitely has to be a family
mm-hmm.
choice and everything, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and your parents, like I said, I got to know them through football season last year. What were their thoughts when you said this is the school?
They're really excited.
Yeah.
Yep. We're sitting in the hotel room, and I told them, and they said, "Well, it'd be really nice to do it in person, so let's just do it later today." And then I did it.
Okay, so they're all excited, and
Yep.
knowing that and it's a hard thing for me. Like I said, I actually have to remember that you're just a junior. You'll be moving into senior year, so you still got a full year before till all this whole thing gets through.
Yep.
What are you looking forward to the most about your senior year here for football?
I'm looking forward to playing with my buddies that I've played with since flag football. That's the best part of it.
Okay. You and I talked a little bit before we went on air. One of the players that Northwestern that plays, that was drafted, was an offensive lineman, and so we both kind of know him, Peter Skoronsky. Do you know of any other things? Did they talk about those? When you're recruiting, at how many people go to the NFL?
They do. I think they said they get like 2 a year. That was about their average at Northwestern, something around there. But a lot of offensive linemen have went to the NFL from Northwestern, and with Coach Anderson.
Coach Anderson, Kurt Anderson.
Yep.
And his style, when you were watching him at practice, what struck you the most?
A lot of technique. A lot of technique needs to be in the field. It's not just about how strong you are, but it needs to be your footing, your hand placement, all that stuff, where your head is, all that.
So you had all this year to really work more and more into that situation.
Yep.
I did see that they've also got a couple more linemen from Michigan, the gentleman from Sault Ste. Marie and from Plymouth. Did you know those guys beforehand, or?
I think his name is Idris. I've got to know him. I've seen him at a lot of places, so I have. Yep.
So you guys will be running into each other now that you all three have committed. Now is that something you'll start trying to communicate more to those guys throughout the year? Probably. Yep. Okay, that's exciting. What for this football season? What's the most exciting part for you?
I'm gonna go back to my place. I think the most exciting part is playing with my buddies.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like the most exciting part.
Most exciting part of it?
Going for a conference title, that's my goal.
Nice. Well, like I said, final thoughts on this whole process of recruiting and getting, and committing to a Big Ten school?
I would say once you find your spot, don't pass it up. Just if you find it, go there.
Yeah. All right, excellent. Thank you. I appreciate it for sitting down here with us. We'll get a chance to talk about this. And like I said, it's just a short 3-4 months before we'll be in August.
Yeah.
And we'll really be sitting down and kind of watching and seeing what happens here. Like I say, with your buddies and everybody, ready to go out there and do battle for the Coopersville Broncos. Thanks, Gabe. I appreciate it. And I wish you the best of luck. And we will talk in the fall.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet.